Morning Facebook, Jackie Broman here from TBA Law obviously, coming to you every Monday morning to give you a short snippet of legal information. This week I'm talking about OH&S laws, just to give you a brief overview, and just like the last couple of weeks, this topic was set, back in November, and it turns out that it's really relevant for the times that we're in with coronavirus and COVID-19. So we are still obviously working, trying to encourage remote appointments where we can, but legal services are an essential service, and so we're still able to do those things that we need to do for you. Trying obviously though to do as much as remote as possible, and so the only people really coming in are those who have to sign documents in front of a witness, and we're meeting all the requirements we need to for that in terms of social distancing and cleaning the office down and having disinfectant and hand sanitizer everywhere. So I am sort of proud with how Australia has handled this in many respects, because we're headed in the right direction, and hopefully a lot will return to normal, although I think some things will not change. Now, in light of OH&S, so just a general overview first. So OH&S laws, so occupational health and safety, first came into Victoria back in 1985 or so, in the form that it sort of currently is. The new laws though for Victoria came in about 2004. The Commonwealth laws came in 2011. And the Commonwealth laws are called Work Health and Safety, so sometimes you hear it called WHS or it's OH&S. Same thing. So why do we have them? So it's mainly because it became unacceptable in terms of our values to have serious workplace injuries. Whereas in other countries, we know that they don't have OH&S laws, they don't have protections, and there are horrific workplace accidents. And so for us, that's not acceptable. We can almost draw the line between our values in Australia. We value life more than some other countries do, who are heading back to work and removing restrictions before they've got the virus under control. So obviously, the OH&S laws are a reflection of our values in Australia. So the laws put obligations both on employers and employees to make sure that the workplace is safe. And it has to be safe for everyone working there, and also for third parties who come in. Now, this is relevant as well in light of coronavirus, because we have an obligation to stay home if we're sick now. If you come to work sick and you end up having the virus, there could be impacts on OH&S, particularly if a third party catches it from your business premises. So that is why OH&S is particularly relevant at the moment. Excuse me. So, as well as the main legislation, there's then certain compliance codes in certain industries as well, and the compliance codes just help employers and staff to have like best practice. And those things are like industries handling asbestos, industries working in confined spaces, industries where they are working where there's a risk of falls. So things like that, there are extra compliance codes that are built into the laws, not necessarily the legislation, but the compliance codes are then created so that those industries need to be compliant with those. Then finally, I wanted to go through the current penalties in Victoria. So penalties for a breach of regulations, and these apply to employers that are corporations. The maximum penalty for a breach of regulations is $82,000. Now, when there is a breach of laws, there's often a number of charges, right? So they can be aggregated or cumulative. For an individual, so if it's an employee who has disregarded a direction or has created an issue an employee themselves, the maximum penalty for a breach of regulation is $16,500. Then there are the bigger, more serious breaches. So for an individual who recklessly engages in behaviour that breaches OH&S, the maximum penalty is 5 years in prison. In terms of a fine, the maximum penalty for an individual, including an employee, is close to $300,000. So again, in light of coronavirus, if you're sick, you don't come to work, because if you're an employee, you could potentially be charged further down the track. You are putting your other staff members or colleagues at risk, and you're putting third parties at risk. So a third party may report it, and then your whole workplace is in trouble. And for indictable offences where the employer or the company has committed a serious offence, it's upwards of $3 million as a penalty. So those are the penalties in Victoria. And as well as being able to fine or imprison people, the courts also have the power to be able to make orders for compliance. So they can actually order things to be done to make sure it doesn't happen again. So that's a broad overview of OH&S, a really quick rundown. But again, it just so happens that it's quite relevant in the times that we're in, because OH&S laws could be breached if someone catches coronavirus in your workplace. So do be aware of that. It's not just the breach of regulation if there's a shutdown and you're still working. Even essential businesses that are continuing to operate, there is the risk that if someone catches coronavirus in your workplace, it's an OH&S issue. So there you go, another thing to think about. But as it is, like I said, we're headed in the right direction. So I hope everyone, although we're getting a little bit sick of social distancing, understands the benefits and that we're headed in the right direction if we continue to comply. Otherwise, I'm still working. I'll be here every Monday giving you a short snippet of legal information. All these videos get posted onto our Facebook page, so you can go to the videos section and scroll back through all the topics if anything's relevant for you. Or if anything's relevant for anyone else, you could tag their name in the comments, or you can send it to them as a direct message if it's a bit more of a private situation. And of course, if you want to contact us, you can contact us by email, or you can direct message us through this Facebook page as well, or of course call. We're here, we're working, but depends what's easier for you. So I'll see you next Monday. Hope you have a great week and stay safe.